Hello, everyone. It's Miriam Siegel from the Center for Mastery and Excellence. I thought I would talk today about love because I know everything about love. We all do, actually, at some level. But today I wanted to actually broach the subject of unconditional love and conditional love. And not necessarily so much what's the difference, but is it love or isn't it love? So, the idea of unconditional love and conditional love. Is there such a thing, really, as conditional love? So, I'm going to give some examples about what I mean. When we talk about unconditional love, we talk about, or well, we may think of it as not having to live up to other people's expectations, or there being general interest. For example, if you're in a relationship with someone, the other person is generally interested in you, in what you feel, what you have to say, what you want, what you don't want, what your needs are, what kind of support you might need, what you would like to bring into the world, what kind of future you would like, all those kinds of things. There is an engagement, there is an interest, for example. Another thing can be like there will be a presence to it, a focus to it. We may talk about acceptance, forgiveness, respecting boundaries. And I might come back to some of that because those are kind of like putting conditions on something that is considered to be unconditional. Like, why would you need boundaries? Why would you need to be forgiven if the love is unconditional? But that kind of brings me into the conditional part of it. And that's usually unconditional when we talk about unconditional love anyway. It's about something you might lose something or somebody stopping something. So they stop giving you love. So it's a situational, conditional kind of thing where I love you if, or if you don't do this, I'll leave, or I'll punish you, or I'll withhold something, or isolate you somehow. For example, those will be like a conditional kind of so-called love then. And my question is, why call it unconditional love or conditional love when conditional love isn't love? So it's not only what do we call it, but when is it love and when is it not love? So some examples of conditional so-called love. You get positive attention or praise when you behave appropriately, when you behave in a certain way. And that is whatever's considered appropriate or not is based on what somebody else expects of you, what somebody else considers to be appropriate or right or acceptable or whatever. Or you get praise when you stay in shape, when you're the right weight, when you dress according to another person's preferences or even by the rules. You may get accepted if you have the right job or if you earn enough money, whatever enough is and who determines that. You get support when you agree with the other person, but not when you disagree. You get something you want or need as long as you give something that the other person wants or needs. You show up for them. So there will be like this quid pro quo kind of transactional way about it. Or you get something you want or need when you're available. to the other person. It can be just as easy. It's just something simple like you're in a relationship with someone, and as long as they know you're around, like they have you, then they can go off and do whatever they want. But they know that when they come home, you're going to be there, kind of thing. You're going to be there for them. So that's examples of conditional love. And my question is, I mean, when you hear me say those things, even, does that sound like love to you? Because it doesn't sound like love to me. What it sounds like is judgment, manipulation, approval, bribery. It doesn't sound like love. So why do we call it conditional love? Why don't we say that it's approval or it's confirmation or it's quid pro quo or whatever? Like, call a spade, and stop referring to it as love at all. Like, if there's love, do you really need someone else's approval? Do you really need the transaction? Do you really need to behave properly, like obey the rules, if it's love? Because love, and I'm not even going to say unconditional love, the whole idea of love is it is there. It is who you are. It flows naturally. There's just a given about it. It's not whether you're good enough or not good enough, whether you've done the right thing or not done the right thing, behaved the right way, not the right, said the thing or not the thing. It just is. It's like presence. It's there. It's available. It flows. So for me, I prefer to talk about love as love, and then whatever else, calling it what it is. It certainly makes it clearer, less ambiguous, by not calling something else love. And then I just want to bring up another point before I end this, and that is when we're on the subject of love, there's the subject of self-love, the idea of loving yourself. Why would you need to do that? So there's the idea that you don't love yourself or you do love yourself. How can you not love yourself? That, to me, that doesn't make sense either. It's like, love is, you are. When you are, you are. There's no judgment on it. So the idea of self-love is like, you think there's something wrong, and then you have to do something to counteract that or balance that somehow. Like something about you isn't okay. And so you have to give yourself love. You have to love yourself. And that's different than being. Like being yourself, being in the world. When you're you, there's no judgment. There's no outside looking in like, I need to love myself. Well, who's myself? There's the idea, you might have a perceived idea of yourself. So probably based on your conditioning, which is kind of a conglomerate of experiences and other people's judgments and opinions of you throughout your lifetime. And things about what's right and wrong and good and bad and all of that. There will be like this duality to it. So the idea that I have to love myself implies that there's something about me that isn't acceptable. And then I have to learn to love it. Like I have to, again, it's like I need to accept it, or I need to something that isn't love. It's kind of maybe a way of seeing yourself in a more positive light because you've been seeing yourself in a more negative light, and then calling that love. When it's actually conditioning, it's habit. It's kind of like looking from the outside in, or not even in, but like the outside and toward, and then putting some sort of label on that. Well, I need to love that because I love, and people will often talk about that too. Like, I love my fat and I love my shadow. I love my whatever. It's like, but you're you. You're you. There is a who you really are. That is, it is. And it's not outside in, it's not inside out. It's not, it's just is. And that it is, it's a love, it's a movement, it's a flow, it's a being. And so there is no need for self-love, because there's nothing to love, because there's nothing wrong with you. And there's nothing right about you either. It just, that is some sort of determination of who you are, think you should be, think you shouldn't be. And then sort of having to love that, which basically means accept that, which means sort of reacting in some way or acting in some way towards some sort of opinion or conditioning. So there's no separation between you and you. You are all there is. And that is what is. So no judgment, no right, no wrong, no better, no worse. Love, no love. It's all there is. You are all there is. I just thought I'd throw in an example of this. When I was younger, I was speaking to a person who drank a lot of water. A lot of water. And she walked around with one of those great big, I think it was 1.5 liter jugs of water all the time. And I'm going to be generalizing here, but most people that I see walking around with bottles have, well, as an example, kind of this size. They walk around with a bottle of water, a bottle of pop, whatever they're drinking, in a sort of a general everyday bottle size, or whatever you want to call it. And she was walking around with the big, big bottles and drinking from those, and drinking a lot of those. And I made some comment about her drinking water, and I was standing or walking with a bottle of water of the size I just showed you. And she made a comment about being like, we're the people who know best, like we're the water drinkers. It was a good thing that we were drinking water. That was the right way to live. That was the right way to treat yourself. You're taking care of yourself. And to me, I kind of stopped for a moment, because it didn't make any sense that there was a right way and a wrong way. And if you drank a certain amount of water, you were a better person, and you were taking care of yourself and doing the right thing. And other people, they weren't, and that was a bad thing. That didn't make sense to me. It's, from my perspective, drinking water. It's drinking water. I'm not better than you if I drink water. I'm not better than you if I drink a lot of water. I'm not better than you if I drink too much water. I'm not worse than you if I drink too much water. I'm not worse than you if I drink soda or coffee or alcohol or whatever it is. What is present for me right now? Like if I just check in with myself, what is present? My what shows up is water. And water has no good or bad. It could have been something else. Maybe I felt like I don't know, I want to drink in a soda. That's just what shows up. No right or wrong with it, not better or worse of it. That's what I want. Does it mean I love myself worse? Do I have to make it into a thing about a not treating myself and I'm a better than you and this is better and this is not better? If I loved myself more, I would drink water. I'm listening to I'm expressing me. And so I'm not saying I'm just sitting here going, this could actually even sound like, it can even sound like I think I'm right. Ah, not right. It's whatever's there. It's just what's there. I don't even know how else to express it because there's nowhere for it to go. It's just there. So I'm offering you an opportunity if you have the understanding or the habit or whatever you want to call it, to refer to conditional love and unconditional love and self love and even self loathing, to maybe invite the possibility that there's love and that's all it is. It's simple. It's just that. And that whatever isn't that is something else. And what's that? See you next time.